Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another round of arrogant fighters getting destroyed. We got total humiliation, instant karma, and even famous last words. Starting off the video, we have Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm at UFC 193. Ronda at the time was tearing through the division with a record of 12 wins and 0 losses. She had finished off all of her opponents, with the majority being in the very first round. Despite her domination and being promoted as the poster girl for the organization, many fans prayed for her downfall due to her cockiness. Her appearance on the Ultimate Fighter reality TV show showed a more egotistical side of Rousey. She could be seen acting tough and trying to intimidate one of the guest coaches. She's even ignored congratulatory handshakes after a bout's completed. Her opponent, Holly, on the other hand, was softly spoken and always courteous of her opponents. During their face-off, things started to get heated, with Ronda showing her true colors. The fight starts with Ronda coming out aggressive but is largely unsuccessful. Holly seems to be landing every single strike she throws. The two wrestle and the fight goes to the ground. Holly breaks free and they return to the feet. She even gets a takedown of her own. The round ends with Ronda becoming desperate. In the second round, Holly enters beast mode and shows the world that there's levels to this game. She even ducks under a hook and completely humiliates Ronda. Then she lands a perfect left hand, followed by a head kick to take the win via KO. Let's take another look at this beautiful moment. Ronda gets hurt there, and then the head kick comes and kicks her all the way to WWE. Holly's made this list for a second time with her bout against Beta Correia. We already know she's a technically sound striker. Well known for her punching combinations and devastating kicks, she's become the first and only person to ever hold a world boxing title with a UFC title. Strangely enough, her opponents do not respect the lethality she holds and likes to test her inside the octagon. During the fight, both fighters are very cautious. In the third round, we see Correia call Holm to come in and to fight her. She calls her on again, and Holm responds with her famous head kick followed by a punch to the head to finish her off. This was such an important win for Holm, as it broke off her 3-fight losing streak and put her back on track for a title run. The second item on this list is Paulo Costa versus Israel Adesanya. Costa's a knockout artist, who at the time was tearing up the division with an undefeated streak of 13 wins, 11 of those by knockout. Leading up to the fight, there was a lot of trash talk from Costa.
I will hit him so badly. He will cry inside the cage. He will cry inside the cage. It's personal because...
At the stare down, he even brought along a white belt to mock Adesanya. During the fight, Costa sticks his tongue out, taunting Adesanya. He then places his hands behind his back and tells him to come in. The showboating continues, from smirks to Costa flat out telling him to kick harder. In round 2, the smile slowly fades as the pain piles up. Adesanya lands a nice kick and Costa pulls a face mockingly. He turns up the pressure and begins to throw big combinations onto Costa. He then lands a clean shot that drops Costa and finishes the fight off with ground and pound. We now have the trilogy of Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Conor, after losing their rematch, was desperate for a win and to try to stay relevant in the fight business. He decided to play mind games to try to get into Dustin's head, even bringing in his wife into the trash talk.
Your wife is your husband.
On fight day, Conor starts off with a kick-heavy approach. Dustin doesn't back down and puts up a fight. Conor catches him in a potential guillotine but isn't able to hold it. Dustin breaks out and then lands vicious elbows onto McGregor. The fight returns to the feet, then suddenly Conor steps back and breaks his leg during an exchange. Let's take a look at the replay. The question is, did Dustin win the fight, or was this an unfortunate incident? Let us know in the comments below. Next up, we have GSP versus Michael Bisping at UFC 217. Michael at the time was known for his loudmouth and arrogant behavior, and this time was no different.
Stand up and look at the size of me and look at the size of you. Go back to fucking Canada.
That's where I come from. You don't put your hands on a man. You put your hands on a man, that means you got a fucking problem. Just keep your fucking hands to yourself, Cass. I will knock you fucking out right now.
Fuck off, man.
I'm telling you right now.
Fuck off, you're the...
However, when fight night came, he did not live up to his words. The fight started off with the two going strike for strike. GSP seems to have a slight edge on the feet, and even caught him with a Superman punch towards the end of the first round, to which Michael acknowledges. Throughout round 2, he scores a well-timed takedown, but the fight quickly returns to the feet. In the third round, GSP scores another takedown. Michael puts in some work from the bottom position. GSP decides to pull out and bring the fight back to the feet. Then suddenly, he lands a short left hook and follows up with massive strikes on the ground to try to finish him off. He pretends to give Bisping some space, then traps him into a rear naked choke to take the win. Now we have Donald Cerrone versus Alexander Hernandez. Alexander was the new hotshot in the UFC lightweight division on an 8-fight winning streak, looking to make a statement when he was matched up against UFC veteran Donald. His method of creating a name for himself was to disrespect an OG of the sport and a fan favorite.
You didn't have much to say either, partner. I'll tell you this, little friend, I'll be sending your geriatric ass fucking yeehawing back to the stables on Saturday.
The fight starts with Alexander coming in strong and confident. Donald then shows him that he can ragdoll him with ease. The fight returns to the feet, and he begins to show him that there's levels to this game. Donald is throwing combination after combination and completely dominates the first round. In the second round, Donald lands a head kick that drops Alexander. He then comes throwing bombs to the head to finish off the fight via TKO. Let's just say Alexander's best moments of this fight was before round 1 even began. Last but not least, we have Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas at UFC 217. Joanna's notorious for her trash talk. During her face-off with Rose, she could be seen mouthing off, trying to demoralize Rose and even shoving her fist into her face. Their fight starts off with the two staying cautious and getting a feel of each other. Then, Rose drops her with a perfectly timed shot. Joanna's able to get back to her feet. From here, she's even more cautious and keeps her distance. Rose lands a perfect hook and finishes the fight off with a ground and pound. Hopefully, Joanna learns her lesson to keep her mouth shut and let her fists do the talking. Well, that wraps up the video. Let us know your favorite moments in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more MMA content. See you all next time.